Underlight from Football Park, Adelaide versus Fitzroy on AFL Today.
Kicked the goal after the siren to give the Crows a last gasp victory. I'm sure given Adelaide. And after last week's disastrous performance against Melbourne, the selectors have made 7 series. Let's now go to Football Park and pick up the action from the opening bouts.
Over to the big fellow now, and Adelaide have missed it. Gets the first goal of the night within 30 seconds.
Yes, my outcome. Mick and one of the players in there, the ball coming through, quick left hand from Hodges there, very quick.
Their first goal on the scoreboard in the first minute.
Pressure we saw from the first bounce, and that'll be a free kick to McDermott, going in very. And the Crows go out wide to Fitzroy. Fitzroy gets the left foot to it, but nowhere in particular on all it finds is down the boundary line he goes, but again only finds Crows.
And it's McDermott again. Off the ground by Lee. McDermott went in hard, a little too. Free kick, he gets away about 15 metres, goes back towards the centre. Blakey sweeping hand past the field. By Wren, and they even look better this early with him in the behind Blakey, and Blakey forces the ball over for a boundary throw in, and it is Crows fans.
John Blakey, you two at Ireland. Here at Fitzroy. The high ball, the package can suit congested. Puts it out to centre half forward. Coming in is Modra. Just can't take it. Under duress from McDermott. Dundas. A little quiet now. In towards the goals. A wrinkle should be a free kick. Red in the goal square for Adelaide.
Ross marks, and he plays on. Gee, that was risky. They're still in trouble. Umpire calls play on. Adelaide in trouble in that left forward pocket. Guard, one of the younger players. Ben Hart
Just celebrated his 18th birthday a couple of weeks ago in Hart. Red, McGuinness once again. Not really looking where he's kicking the ball. That's the second. Kick that finds the boundary line on the full, and it'll go to Tony McGuinness.
Even the hand pass.
Not too much movement, and all he can go is long and high, and then he does down to center. Multitude again tonight. Morris. Looking for O'Connell. McDermott underneath, the high ball. Pack again. Very strongly. Can't control it. Stevens, safety first, goes to boundary line.
Graham Corns would allow his closed players to line up as they sort of positionings, they started that way.
Well, Jamieson, a very good player. This is Liptak. The free kick to be taken for Fitzroy, and the kick goes to Dundas. Dundas is at right. Throwing right on the players' interchange area. Pretty good conditions here, considering that sun shining for most of the time. There's O'Connell. Backed away behind the Fitzroy. Well, their season hasn't been all that bad up until the last. A quick kick. It's blocked. Maynard diving on the football. Oh, desperate stuff. David Johnston, and he holds the ball in, and the umpire will call for a bounce.
He's a prosecutor, senior constable, Michael Abbott, and that was him who bounced it down. Again, a scrambling kick, but first mark, although he didn't really control at the ground. Short once again. Former Essendon player. Centre square going pretty short. Genzo. Out wide. What can Maynard do? Has he got a left foot? He has. Goes in towards the up on that occasion. Movement on the forward line. Will he go? No, he goes out to the pocket. And
So the crowd is calling for, they're also calling for a pass to Hart.
And sometimes they don't move the ball on quickly, do they?
No, they doesn't have a very strong low trajectory kick as well, so he needs to just work on that particularly, I think.
Wait on the umpire. It's there.
Adelaide off to a very good start. And a big punch from the centre bounce. Maynard tries to hand pass it to his own advantage. Then he batches it a little bit forward. Brett Stevens into the action. He goes Lynch for Fitzroy. Handball over the top. Johnson just a little slow. Able to get his kick away. Ineffective. McDermott. Andrew Jarman. Where's this kick gone? Into that left forward pocket. And it's well marked back there by Peter Caven, who's one of the improving players for the Fitzroy Football Club. The Fitzroy players are having a karaoke night tomorrow night at the Albion Hotel, which is now the Fitzroy Club Hotel. So all Fitzroy supporters, let's get out there and support the boys that's in aid of their trip away. It's left half forward for the Lions. Boundary throw in. Mark Micken got rid of the long sleeve Guernsey pretty quickly. McDermott's kick in towards full forward. Oh, Morris missed it. Modra, too slow. Maynard, oh, look, errors there. Caven will clear for Fitzroy, back towards a vacant wing area. The race is on here. It's Bickley and Guard, and the free kick may be a little tentative, but it has been paid to Guard for Fitzroy.
Guard, 7th draft choice this year. Formerly from Claremont, and been very impressive. Goes further around the boundary line. Smart. Wheeldon waiting for it to come down. Wheeldon goes over it. He's quite content to see that over the boundary line on Fitzroy's left forward pocket. Left forward flank. About 60 metres from their goal. O'Connell and Wren. Probably do the ruck work all night tonight. Wren gets the fist to it, but really doesn't look for anybody. Just shoots it on towards goal. Baldwin going in hard. Scramble. I think the umpire will have to ball this up. He does.
Interesting too, Don, to see that Roos and McDermott, the respective captains, picking up each other. Excuse me. Jamieson on Blakey, and Wine picking up McGuinness, I mentioned earlier on. That should be a good duel.
No science there. You see a real scramble. Lay hand to ball. What the ruckman should do is just punch it clear of the pack, or the player does take possession. Maybe a long handball in the direction of goal, just to break it up. Not much room for science out there at the moment. A lot of players around the ball. Should be a free kick maybe.
Well, common sense should prevail, surely.
Connell, that's Wheeldon actually got that down. Why? Fitzroy centre that ball. Nobody really can control it. It's Adelaide who get the numbers back. I think they'll see this over the goal-scoring line. No, Bickley will take it and run it out. Now they've got numbers. And this looks promising as Hart gets it half back for Adelaide. Centre wing he goes. Getting away is Maynard from Stevens. Stevens have to tighten up in turn. He goes to the centre, but Micken, an easy chest mark drop.
Should have been a free kick.
Roos a handball. O'Connell gathers, kicks up towards full forward. Punched away by Ross, picked off by Wheeldon. His kick goes towards the goal square. No mark taken there by Scott Lee. Ben Hart leaves it behind. Wheeldon snapshot for goal. He's hooked it just a little bit too far. And Darren Wheeldon registers a behind for Fitzroy. So Fitzroy just settling down a little slower than the Crows, who were able to get their first goal through Mark Micken in the first 30 seconds of the game. Ben Hart. His kick-in goes to the far side of the ground. The bounce favours Jamieson. Now it doesn't, as Baldwin comes in pretty quickly. And Rod Jamieson, you don't often get a second chance. You perhaps could have grabbed that the first time. Slipping out of your hands. Now we have a boundary throw-in. O'Connell taking the place of Peter Satori in the 20 for Fitzroy. Bad luck for the Lions that Peter Satori couldn't take his place in the side. Wren has been awarded a free kick out of the ruck contest, and he'll kick Fitzroy into their forward half. And Micken takes a good mark. He's about 2 kicks from goal. A hand pass. They're so intent on handballing. Through comes Seacamp. The kick smothered by Smart. Now a chance for Blakey. Blakey's long kick, fairly direct too, between centre half forward and full forward. Wren overruns the football. Still there, the Fitzroy side have got a chance now. A snapshot there from Barrett, but it goes very, very wide, and it's out of bounds on the full.
And again, the intent to get the ball on quickly to McGuinness from Micken. Just coming unstuck.
A worried Graham Corns on the telephone. I wonder what his instructions are to the bench.
Well, some of his early moves in that selected side, particularly Maynard at centre half forward with his mobility, he's going to give Brett Stevens a bit of a run around, and Micken's had the better of Lynch so far.
Now Bickley in the back pocket. Long out again to a big pack. Nobody can really control it. Wine. Dundas. A high ball. You can see the pressure there. He really couldn't direct that. And Osborne, a good mark. Will it be paid? No. Play on. It's umpire Russo. In control in that area of the ground. Not awarding that chest mark. Play 40 metres from Fitzroy's goal. Wren. O'Connell actually got it down. McGuinness on the right foot. Again, not a good kick, but it goes in the direction of goal. Well done, Hodges. Well trapped, but just couldn't get the handball. Now they run it out. This looks good as he goes in towards centre half forward.
Johnston.
And that was Johnson, the former Essendon player.
The free kick's coming back to Roos, though. Interference coming from Jonathan Ross on that player. Roos going for the footy. Ross coming over the top and just getting Roos. Just see this again. There's Ross over the top. Bit of a soft one.
Now Paul Roos. Captain, 88, 90 and 92. Leading goal kicker at the club goes goalward. Just wait on the umpire. I think he's done it. He has. Roos' first goal and Fitzroy's first. Adelaide 2 straight goals, 12, and Fitzroy 1-2-8.
Here's the replay of that free kick. Not such a good decision. I don't think should have been play on, but Roos, as Don said, has shown there why he is the club's leading goal kicker. Did well.
Wren gets the ball out. Hodges goes to lip tack. His kick towards full forward. Modra can't take the mark. Daryl Hart looking for the crumbs, but Dundas is a little quicker than the Adelaide Crows player. Gathered by Blakey. Hand pass. Not too bad. Johnston. Further forward to O'Connell. Broderick. Back it goes to O'Connell. Oh, the kick is brilliantly smothered. The big man, Sean Wren, gets a pat on the backside from his captain, Chris McDermott.
Getting better with each game, isn't he, Sean Wren, the big fellow?
Robert Shaw having a concerned look at what's happening out on the field. The ruck contest. There's a free kick picked out of it again. It's going to Wine, and he is on centre wing. So he'll kick Fitzroy up near the 50-metre line. Marking contest. Ross taps it down, but Barrett is there. Kick smothered by Tregenza. Wheeldon a chance. Little hand pass to Barrett. Barrett's kick up towards full forward. Attacking the football was Ben Hart. Well done, son. McGuinness just gets his right foot to the ball. This may sit for Tregenza. Close to the boundary line. Simon Tregenza nearly got his kick away. A little kick off the ground. Abbott was there. Now Lee for Adelaide. His kick goes in towards the centre of the ground, and the mark is taken by Lynch.
Now Lynch breaks in towards the centre once again. Who can he find? Roos he's looking for, and there's Roos by himself. In turn goes out wider. And Fitzroy looked good as O'Connell spills that mark. The opposite number, and Wren picks it up. Showing a lot of mobility tonight, Wren, but oh, did he set Bickley up with a hand pass. A hospital pass. Well done, big fellow. However, he's turned the ball over, and Blakey's picking up a lot of positions on centre wings, been awarded a 50-metre penalty.
Well, the crowd thought that Blakey was off, and that's why Jamieson attacked him.
But he didn't touch him.
No.
He didn't hold up play.
And that's where
why is the 50-metre penalty applied?
It's just so unnecessary.
And that's the more experienced of the two umpires officiating there, John Russo.
Just looked as if Russo was saying to Jamieson he didn't come back on the mark quickly enough, which is very technical.
Can this be his 8th goal for the season, John Blakey? It's not. It's his 11th point. Coming into this game, 7 goals, 10 for the season, John Blakey.
The kick in goes to left half back for the Crows, and the mark is taken by Wren. My golly, where's he going? Straight back over the other side of the ground. Well, it's paid off because Bickley has taken the mark, and he's run well outside 50 metres, kicks it long about 50 metres up towards half forward. Nearly an excellent effort there by Lynch. A struggle for possession. Maynard. Lynch gets in there again. Kick off the ground by Andrew Jarman. Goes up towards full forward. Well trapped by Daryl Hart, but he falls over. Now Hodges in there. Tipped kick off the ground was by Roos. Now a chance for Morrish. Good gather by the half-back flanker there, and his kick, well, he let himself down just a little bit because Tregenza gets back and takes the mark. His handball is away to McDermott. McDermott's kick in towards full forward. Modra! No, the man in front must be paid. It's a top effort by Brett Stevens.
Good decision.
And Modra, who took a couple of excellent marks last week against Melbourne, couldn't quite pinch that one. Short pass. Dundas.
Breaks from centre half back. Plays on with a handball. Broderick now back to Dundas. They're trying to run something out of here as the little fella goes in towards centre half forward. Abbott in front. Not paid again. The umpire right there and just didn't see that infringement. Well cut out by Fitzroy. That's guard. Very impressive on the half forward flank. A lot of pressure out there as a scrappy kick comes in the direction of McGuinness. Again, you could see the pressure. Blakey
that was
lining McGuinness up.
I'll tell you what, he's hurt himself too, Blakey. fact, he almost got Jim Wine more than he got McGuinness.
McGuinness a high ball into looking to centre half forward, looking for Micken. Liptak doing really well. Gets it across to Modra. Modra open goal. Is this his first? It is.
Adelaide 3 goals, Fitzroy 1-3. We've got 7 3/4 minutes left in the first quarter. Big punch again by Wren. He's dominating the ruck contest. Micken, Tregenza. Kick by Tregenza. Not too bad. Daryl Hart can't quite take the mark. The pressure applied by Morris. Stevens looking for the free kick, but umpire John Russo will bounce the ball about 40 metres from the Crows' goal. Jonathan Ross already replaced Bruce Limner, the other interchange player there for the Crows. Up goes Micken. Picked off there by Morris. His kick goes out towards the wing. Wheeldon. Well, that wasn't very productive there by Darren Wheeldon. And we'll have a boundary throw in on centre wing.
His Page was the player to come on.
Ruckman, Wren and O'Connell. Wren, a big punch again. Very, very effective. Hodges falls over. Seacamp. Hodges to the back. Liptak tries to get it back to Hodges, but in chips the other number 17, Broderick. His kick goes wide and bounces just inside the boundary line, so we'll have another throw in. It's between wing and right half forward for the Adelaide Crows, as number 27 for Fitzroy is Dale Fleming warms up on the boundary line, preparing to have a run on the ground.
O'Connell battling hard, gets it down. McGuinness. Can he trap it? No.
And Fleming could be coming on. I think John Blakey's the runner's out with him at the moment. That ankle not quite so good. Maynard's gone to centre half back now because Paul Roos has dropped out of the centre and playing centre half forward.
Two big fellows at it once again. Centre wing the ball. 18 playing 9 as McDermott gets the free kick on centre wing. Leading possession getter in the AFL, Chris McDermott, the Adelaide captain, certainly does put himself under packs and earns a lot of balls. Centre half forward, he sends the ball. Nobody really can take it cleanly. Off the ground it goes. Fitzroy got the numbers through Johnson and he handballs. Now they'll try and run it with a series of handballs. Lynch chips it, but really not to the advantage of Barrett. That was a hospital one once again. Again they chip it out. Blakey, who's injured, looks as if he's recovered, goes high towards centre half forward. You can see there Maynard holding, but the umpire not paying it. Wheeldon, clever player, handball. Hard, well chopped out. Jamison. Liptak. Goes long, half forward flank that ball goes. Jarman usually does something with the ball. Just can't get to it. Taps it on. Morris. That should be a free kick to Osborne. And the umpire right on the scene to pay that to the former captain, Richard Osborne. Between centre half back and half back flank is Richard Osborne. Goes to centre wing with a high ball. Stevens underneath it. Big fly from behind from Jamison. Dundas. Roos, he'll take it. Wheeldon, well done. Just promising as he goes forward. Have it again held. Oh, crashing through O'Connell. All he has done is found his opposite number who can't control it, and Wren. To the boundary line the ball goes and finds his mark in Bickley.
Gee, that was a terrific kick. I think it may have come from Jamison, Ross, was it? In towards the centre of the ground, no mark taken. Liptak trying to crash his way through. And it is held in right near the centre circle.
I think it might have been Rouvray actually, Robbo. Just reflection. Blakey is the player that did come off for Fleming to come on. He's gone to full forward, Fleming. And looks like Richard Osborne might be up on the ball or in fact on a wing playing on Jamison.
So the bounce very near the centre of the ground. Chance for Tregenza. Hodges just gets his left foot to the ball. Bouncing freely. Morris, know where you're going, son. Oh, you could have nearly been penalised. McGuinness, underneath everything. Daryl Hart, tackled by Richard Osborne. And the umpire will be forced to bounce once again. I thought when you tried to crash your way through at least one or two players and you were retarded, you'd be penalised for holding the ball.
Because you've had a chance to get rid of it in the first place.
Umpire Russo bounces. Micken, high was Hodges. Good, effective tap out. Broderick at the back. Now Osborne. His kick goes across the half-back line and rolls over for a boundary throw-in It's approaching left half forward for the Adelaide Crows, but it's still about 2 kicks from their goal.
A lot of pressure out there, Ross, evidenced by that kick from Osborne. He really didn't look where he's sending it.
There's been that one-on-one duels. Good to see.
Broderick again hasn't got time to spit as he gets the ball out quickly. His guard underneath. Again wheeled and under a lot of pressure. Dundas, a little fellow with a lot of courage, improved dramatically this year. There's a lot of work up around midfield. And picked up by Pays. Again, you can see McDermott behind play. I think that's guard. Yes, guard picking him up. Well done, O'Connell, to get it down. Jamieson can't control it. Numbers around the ball. Very scrappy. Wren shows a lot of football now. Lip tap. McGuinness now. This looks good. Right foot he goes. Modra in front. Can he get it? No. Stevens playing as a loose man in the back line will clean up. Changes direction of play. Morris now the 1-2. It's a one-on-one situation. Hodges a fly and really not in the position to take that mark over Osborne.
And the crowd there applauding Scott Hodges' efforts in just making a contest of it there with Richard Osborne. Boundary throw in, left forward pocket. Micken, too tall, too experienced. Osborne can't get his foot to the ball. Jarman's handball, terrific. Lip tack into an open goal. It's a goal to the Crows. Fantastic football again by one of the smallest players on the ground, Andrew Jarman. And by gee, when he gets his hands on the ball, he's very productive.
Mark Micken there, and just the players you mentioned, Jarman, but Liptak's been very lively. He's been the most effective small man on the ground thus far. His scouting the packs has been very good.
Well, the Crows getting the ball well out of the centre through this big fella who initiates play, but they come in pretty hard off the side. Seatcamp, been impressive for a youngster. Quietened off a little bit. Roos in front of mate. Again, it should be a free kick, but play on. Jamieson. McDermott. Tregenza can't control it. Back to McDermott. In turn, goes long, but not a good kick off the boot. Morris punching it away from the slower Hart. You can see there Hart's lack of speed. Baldwin. Micken. Ball out wide. Bickley. That's O'Connell overrunning it. Got a lot of class, this former South Adelaide player. Across to Tregenza. Coming back into this side, another youngster with a lot of class, normally drafted by Fitzroy. Ball into no man's land. Who can run onto it fast? There's first. Liptak doing well on the forward line.
Good play.
Binds with Jarman, who obviously is rewarded from that hand pass, because it was Jarman who really shot out a quick hand pass across to Liptak. Liptak rewarding him on that occasion.
Wasn't there some clever play there, Robbo? Just watch this on replay here. Lynch, a valiant effort, and Jarman was about to play on, but just decided at the last minute just to go back and have a shot.
Well, not the most accurate kick for goal this year. 6 goals, 13, and his goes goalward. But that's his 7th for the season. And Adelaide further ahead, 5 straight goals, incredible kicking, 30 points. Fitzroy 1-3-9.
Just going to mention Liptak. Ross, you mentioned about 5 minutes ago how good he's been, but this is fantastic.
Well, just to sense the opportunity to get the ball forward, lift it off the ground and give Jarman the chance. Very clever.
And Andrew Jarman, we see again kicking quite accurately to register his first goal for the evening, and the Crows have got their 5th. They lead by 21 points. Liptak hard at the football. Jamieson is there for the Crows, and the umpire will call for a bounce. Fitzroy finding it quite difficult to break into the clear. The Crows, they looked spirited right from the start. There were a few pushing and shoving before the ball was even bounced. O'Connell gets the tap out, but there's the siren to end the first quarter, and a fairly entertaining one if you follow the Crows. Adelaide lead 5 goals, 30 points. Fitzroy a 1-3-9. So the second quarter about to get underway here, and Adelaide, well, they've got a handy advantage, 21 points. Excellent bounce. O'Connell tries to get it down. McDermott off the ground, gathers about 35 metres up towards the 50-metre line. Jarman putting pressure on, and kick off the ground there by Baldwin goes out on the full. The delight of the Adelaide Crows fans. They're pretty well full here in front of us in the members area, as Tregenza will kick them into attack. 45-metre kick up towards the 50-metre line. Kicked off the ground by Morris. Baldwin overruns it. Chance here for Broderick. His kick goes over on the full as well. Gee, they're not having any luck, the Lions, but good pressure being applied by the Crows.
And Micken about to come on as that ball goes in towards centre half forward. A big lead by Modra. No umpire says play on. Now they attempt to run it out through handball. Broderick. Seacamp, a high ball. Again, the pressure quite intense out there as they really can't direct the ball either side. Ball on centre wing. Wren, Maynard. A high ball again from Smart. Hoping. Liptak, who was a good player. Quick handball out to Tregenza in the first quarter. Stevens. Again, a scrappy kick guard. Is now picking up McDermott. O'Connell can't control it. Numbers around the ball. And this ball rather slippery, I suspect, from the heavy dew. The players having real difficulty controlling it as the ball dribbles over the boundary line. And there's Mark Micken, having adjusted those contact lenses, and they can be frustrating things, contact lenses. About to come on. Big fellows go at it once again. Nobody really gets it down cleanly. That's Bickley over the top. It's starting half back now. That's well done to McGuinness in turn. Goes out looking for Hodges, or is that Modra? It's Modra. Lynch. Great athlete is Lynch. Runs the ball out. Blakey obviously recovered. Goes long in towards centre half forward. O'Connell showing courage as he runs with a flight of the ball. Traps it. Can't do anything with it. And again, the umpire, John Russo there. 2 grand finals. Has Russo to his credit. Will bounce the ball down.
Yes, Micken will come back on and Ross the play to come off.
So the Crows getting back to much like their opening lineup. O'Connell tries to tap it down to Wheeldon. Scott Lee gets his kick away. But the umpire very quick with the whistle again there. The ball had been kicked free of the scrum of players. And he's called for another bounce. Wren down to Maynard. Goes wider for Jamieson. Just fumbled a little bit. Hand pass a bit awkward for Bickley, but he was able to gather it very well. McGuinness, his kick goes wide. It's forward, left half forward now for Adelaide. Roos, Jarman there. 1 on 3. Andrew Jarman outnumbered. The kick there came, I think, from Stevens, and it went out on the full. So the third kick out on the full in the last 5 minutes by Fitzroy, and Bickley kicks it back into attack for Adelaide. Up towards half forward. Hodges, handball too severe there for Liptak. He's a good young player, Matthew Liptak, but he can't control this football. It's still close to the boundary line, and allowing it to roll over in the finish was Paul Morris. The umpire gave him the benefit of the doubt and will ask the boundary umpire to throw it in. Darryl Hart there in the picture as Micken does the ruck work with Brett Stevens.
Hart, great anticipation. This is his forte in front of goal. What can the North Adelaide Rover do? He puts it into the goal square, and well done by Alistair Lynch.
Yeah, good use of strength from both players there, but Lynch just a little better on that occasion.
Can be played forward or back. Very versatile as Alistair Lynch. Morris, a good pick-up for Fitzroy, the former Richmond Essendon player. Plenty of time to put the ball up into the team's advantage, but punched away now to Seacamp, who's impressed me this year. Across to guard, 2 Western Australians combining. Not very direct neither side tonight as Wheeldon traps the ball, but Smart in hot pursuit, and the ball beats both players over the boundary line. Play some 60 metres from the Fitzroy goal. O'Connell got it down, but Jamieson, who gets it, tried to get it across McDermott, couldn't control it. Again, you can see how slippery this ball is. McGuinness. Wind in hot pursuit.
Good effort there by Jimmy Wine. Excellent effort to dispossess Tony McGuinness.
Picks up a lot of possessions. The little fellow, number 8, had a stint at Essendon for a while. Started his football actually at Fitzroy.
Big punch there by O'Connell. Wind. His hand pass wasn't all that effective, but he's going to be awarded the free kick, Ross.
Yeah, for holding on, I think John Russo, the umpire, suggested.
In towards centre half forward. There's a good effort taken by Paul Roos. He's about 55 metres from goal, perhaps too far out to score. And again, hanging on to it. Perhaps looking for a short pass, but he may be forced now to kick it high into the forward line.
Pretty congested there, Robbo.
A little kick into the pocket, and it's effective. Wheeldon leads out and takes the mark in front of Nigel Smart. Now, Wielden could be half a chance here. He's going to have to kick the ball about 45 to 50 metres to clear the players in the goal square. But Darren Wielden, well, you wouldn't call it shocking, you'd just call it terrible. It's out on the full after all that time.
Attention, Robbo. He just lost his footing in his grounded foot there at the last minute, which I think just caused him to miscue there.
Chris McDermott kicks it back out towards half-back. Going for the free kick was Jamison. Liptak goes away to Pays. Pays' kick. It's marked there by Seacamp. Seacamp on centre wing. Kicks it in towards centre half forward. Marking contest. Wren in front. Can't quite take the mark. Barrett bumped off the football there by Lee. Opportunity for Tregenza. His hand pass is good to Liptak, who's playing very, very well. His little kick was excellent. Micken, he spotted and gave it to him. Micken's kick up towards full forward. The shepherd by Modra was ineffective. Lynch was stronger. Andrew Jarman's a chance again. He may get his second goal. No, the pass into the full forward area is thumped away from Modra by Lynch and through for a behind to Adelaide. And that is their first behind for the evening. They lead 5-1. Fitzroy 1-3.
Good play by Alistair Lynch. Desperate play. With the outriders Adelaide, as Lynch looks for movement, he goes straight down the centre of the ground. Stevens. Now the game's starting to open up a little bit. There's a little fellow, Jimmy Wong gets it. Out to O'Connell. Interesting battle between those two big fellows, both using mobility to advantage. In turn, he goes to Johnson. Johnson across to Stevens. This looks promising as Brett Stevens goes goalward. I think it's going to be chopped out. That is a good mark to the youngster, Brett Hart. Ben Hart. Now the umpire bringing Brendan back. I don't know what, maybe he had to kick over his mark.
That's really technical stuff, that is. I mean, it's just too technical. It really is.
The 18-year-old from the goal square goes long out to the half-back flank. Wielden playing quite well now in this second quarter. Goes short in towards Stevens and finds him on the 50-metre line.
Actually, he's no closer to goal, Brett Stevens, I wouldn't think.
Good player last week, Brett Stevens. 15 kicks, 7 handballs, goes short. But well chopped out by Tregenza. In all directed pass, it's a 3-on-1 situation, but Adelaide take it out with a long kick. Micken, who's doing quite well at centre half forward. Caven in hot pursuit. Johnson laying that tackle on Micken. Bickley gets a quick one out. Stevens once again, another quick ball. Clean bowls Lee. Got to make excuses for these players because that ball terribly slippery. The heavy dew, the night dew, falling here in Adelaide.
Change be made very shortly. Fleming warming up, and I think it might be Barrett to come off.
And the umpire deciding on just throwing the ball straight into the air. O'Connell, McDermott, again, the umpire will have to call for a bounce. Andrew Jarman, who has kicked 1 goal. The leading goal scorer on the ground at the moment is Liptak, who's kicked 2. McGuinness can't get away with the football. Broderick is in there. And so is Chris McDermott, which is not unusual. But the umpire will call for another bounce. 5-1 to 1-3. Adelaide, they led by 21 points at quarter time. And the only score so far in this second term has been a behind to the Adelaide side. And the third bounce of the ball within a minute in basically the same area. So we could look for a free kick here. Maybe all players hopping in. No, terrific tap out. Chance there for Baldwin. His kick up towards full forward. This fellow's going to be a superstar, Ben Hart. Terrific little kick to Tregenza. He was under enormous pressure. Tregenza up towards the wing. Oh, crashing his way through was McDermott. He might have collected his teammate Hodges. Hodges is in trouble behind play. Fitzroy kicked the ball to left half forward. The mark is taken by Baldwin, and still Scott Hodges is in the hands of the trainers behind play.
I tell you what, McDermott's not too good either, Robbo, although he's on his feet.
The kick goes in towards centre half forward. An excellent mark taken by Wren, and the confidence of the big guy. Nearly got himself into a trouble there. McGuinness. Now the kick from Pays, but there's no one home there for Adelaide, and the mark is taken by Seacamp.
Across to Stevens, doing well in this second quarter. Stevens bowls over the Fitzroy runner. Nobody can get it away quickly. That was Bickley. Jarman, he'll do something with it. Great handball across to McGuinness. Now, can McGuinness get the break? Wren, this is possession stuff. There's Stevens down on the forward line. Once again, he's got a loose man in Roos, but just can't take it, Roos. Hodges going off the ground too, holding his cheekbone. There's the ball in Fitzroy's left forward pocket. And desperate stuff. And holding it under was Rouvray. It's Paul Rouvray, signed by or drafted by Melbourne. And there's Hodges going straight up the race. I hope he's all right.
I wonder if it might be a cheekbone or something, Don.
Dust up, down on the wing.
Lindner came straight on and Seacamp and he just had a bit of a chat.
A lot of feeling in this game as the ball back with Jarman. A high ball in towards the centre. Micken. Liptak involved in the fight as well. Now the ball's out with him. Clean bowls both of them. That's the way to do it. Breaks the fight up the ball. Now there's a free kick. And it's going Lindner's way. I thought that Lindner was holding.
No, he just put his body in. He pushed back and got pushed in the back in doing so. The free kick was there.
And Bruce Lindner, who was the culprit in starting all of that rubbish, finishes up with the free kick. Excellent hand pass. Comes out to Lee. Came from Jamieson. Lee's kick for goal. Just off to the right-hand side.
Gee, it could have been a handball to Liptak. Could have been a handball on there. He could have shepherded for his teammate. Here we go. McDermott coming from left. Crash. There goes side of head on the right cheekbone of Hodges, which I think might be what the problem is.
And the kick in there by Fitzroy has been marked by Darryl Hart. Short passes on. It's effective. The mark is taken by McDermott, and look at Chris McDermott's head.
Well, that's where the collision was.
Well, they've got to go off the ground when they're bleeding as profusely as that, or is it left to the discretion of the doctor? Because in other sports, you've got to go off the ground and have those things attended to.
Tough customer, this bloke. Great leader. Doubt whether he'll get the distance. Oh, no, it's a beautiful kick. It is a magnificent kick. Chris McDermott kicks a 55-metre goal. Adelaide 6-2, lead Fitzroy 1-3.
Connell changing direction at the ruck play, but it doesn't matter because Wren still gets it down. McGuinness and the free kick being picked out. It's going Adelaide's way. Is it Liptak going to take it? Yes, it is. Liptak in the centre of the ground. Directs the ball towards centre half forward. In front there is Caven. Morrish. Now Blakey. What's he got down forward? Nothing really. He puts it into that open space. A quick handball off. That was Fleming. Roos can't get away. Bickley, good tackle by, or attempted tackle by Roos. Jamieson, half-back, goes back in towards the centre. Men mark. Well done, Baldwin. McGuinness quickly back onto it. That's well done by an experienced player. But again, not a good kick. He puts it out into the open. Micken, not the fastest man, attempting to give chase, but it's a 3-on-1. Blakey. Out to Johnson. Former Essendon player, centre wing. Chips the ball towards half forward. Jarman underneath. Doing well tonight, Andrew Jarman.
It's quite funny actually, Don. McDermott's trying to be run down by the Crows runner and also the trainer, but he just keeps running away from them.
Rouvray's kick in towards the centre of the ground. That's a fairly soft free kick awarded to Liptak. Now the advantage is with the Crows. It's Pays. Pays up towards left half forward. Lindner gathers it and he shrugs the Seacamp tackle. Hand pass over the top. Chance for Micken from 50 metres. Mark Micken's kick is ordinary. Into the goal square. Richard Osborne is back there for Fitzroy and he'll tidy up and clear for the Lions. Out wide, no one home for Fitzroy, and the mark is taken by Jamieson. And Jamieson will kick the Crows back into attack. His kick is rather ordinary, but fortuitously it's with Tregenza. His little kick finds Lee. Well done.
That was a good kick. He saw very quickly that Lee could run into a bit of space, kicked it over his head, and well set up. McDermott now being treated in the background by the trainer and runner. Good kick from Tregenza.
After my last prediction on Chris McDermott, I don't think I'll make a comment about Scott Lee. He got the distance so easily, Chris McDermott. Now Lee, from 45 metres, it is a very good kick by Scott Lee as well. Scott Lee kicks his first goal, and Adelaide kick away 7-2 to 1-3.
Well, that's Scott Lee's ninth for the season. Just watch this again. Baldwin chasing the footy, the bounce, so not good for him. And then a clever kick from Tregenza, and Lee finished off very well.
Ball back in the centre. Well cut out there by Roos coming off that half-back line or the back end of the square. Rouvray, centre wing, again not a good kick. Stevens picking up a lot of possessions in the second quarter. Goes out wide, very indirect both sides. As Roos takes the mark in front of Maynard. The captain playing at centre half forward. Goes in towards the forward pocket. And there's Fleming, the former Hawthorn player, recruited from Canterbury. In his debut year with Fitzroy. Now 45, he'd let it probably go from about 50 metres this ball. The angle very acute. It's a high ball, dropped right in the square. Big pack of players. O'Connell over the back. What a mark from behind.
Well done, David O'Connell. He's inclined at times just to drop the odd mark. That will give him a great deal of confidence. Hasn't played a lot of senior footy this year, David O'Connell. And if he finishes off with a goal here, it'll certainly lift his spirits greatly. 46 games thus far in his career.
And his first goal for the season, if he can put it through, a real workhorse. This man, when he was at West Coast, not a problem. Much needed goal. Fitzroy's second. David O'Connell, after a great mark in the square, has kicked it. However, Adelaide, a commanding lead, 7-2-44. Fitzroy, 2-3-15.
Yeah, it was Fleming who set that up, having given them a bit of life on that forward line, and a great leap from O'Connell. Good clean grab. Well done. He's done the bulk of the ruck work with Abbott, just doing a little on the forward line.
It certainly was a terrific mark by O'Connell. Down on the boundary line, John Casey, what's happened to Scott Hodges?
Yes, Robbo, Scott Hodges ran straight past me and up the race. I followed him, and it's fair to say that he wobbled a bit. He certainly is disorientated. He has a nick under his right eye, and they're in there stitching it at the moment. Probably 2 or 3 stitches, I'd say.
Well, Adelaide Crows got the ball clear of the centre, but it was picked off by Baldwin. His kick went to Jimmy Wind, who in turn got the ball up to left half forward for Fitzroy. But here's Maynard. Maynard's kick goes back towards the wing, and an excellent mark. That's a terrific effort there by David Johnston. Quite a courageous mark. His kick in towards the centre of the ground, and it's marked there by Wind. Now Wind must move it just a little quicker than they are, Fitzroy, up into the forward line. That's not bad, mark taken by Roos. Well, you've got some chance of getting a player one out with his opponent if you move it up there quickly. Now Roos is 55 metres out. He goes for the long torpedo punt kick. It's a magnificent kick by Roos. It's a goal. Roos' second goal from 55 metres, and that's inspirational stuff from the captain. 3-3 plays 7-2.
And you saw in the state game in the second half how Paul Roos can play centre half forward. He's a quality player, and what a magnificent kick. And while that was happening, Dundas came off the ground, and McCormack comes on for his first run and runs straight into Pays.
And you mentioned, Ross, that Brendan McCormack is on the ground for Fitzroy at the expense of
Dundas.
Dundas. So the Lions forcing to make a few changes, and McCormack, a rugged customer, having a to-do as soon as he came on the ground. The ball thumped back near the centre. Courageous stuff by Lee, not rewarded. Abbott away to McCormack. McCormack quickly into the action. Short pass is effective. Don't know whether he meant that.
I think it may have been looking for Wilden. Oh, come on, Scotty.
He meant that. That man is very, very creative once he gets the ball.
I know he's very skillful, but as his first, I'm sure the lead was behind
Osborne
on that occasion, coming from Wilden.
Now Osborne, Roos kicked one from further out. Osborne, distance, no problems, and straight through the centre. Another very, very good kick by Richard Osborne. And Fitzroy get their 4th goal, and they've made some sort of a comeback. 7-2 plays 4-3.
Well, let's hope that those 2 goals by Osborne and Roos really get this side Fitzroy on the go. Broderick, Jarman couldn't trap it. Out wide it goes. Scott Lee and Stevens in pursuit. Pressure just not in the game as it was earlier. Abbott, not really. I don't know what he was trying to do there. Trying to direct the ball Fitzroy's way. Roos, well done. Hits it on. That's about all you can do in situations like that. And that'll go over the boundary line on the full. And that was Pays. We had that altercation with McCormack. As soon as McCormack came on, Both of them got stuck into it on the edge of the square. Richard Osborne played up forward, up back, now back on the forward line. Hart was his opponent early in the game. And Osborne, a good kick into the point of the square. And that's a good mark. Well chapped out by Wren. Playing well tonight, the big fellow.
Gets the hand pass away to Smart. Smart's kick out towards half-back, but it's marked by Johnson, who's playing pretty well for Fitzroy. His kick further afield to McCormack. McCormack into the pocket. Well, unattended was O'Connell, and he marks well within scoring distance. O'Connell's already kicked one. Goes for the pass in towards centre-half forward. Not really on, and Andrew Jarman got the front posse and took the mark quite easily. McGuinness takes the hand pass. A short kick goes wider still. Maynard looking to give the hand pass off. Now he tries to play on, and he does so. You see the umpire in the foreground signalling just that. Terrific mark by Limner. Away to Tregenza. Tregenza into the full forward area. Out comes Modra. Tries to get rid of his opponent. Oh, he nearly socketed it to his own advantage. Kick off the ground by Morris. Tregenza able to shrug 2 tackles. How did he get through all this?
He should have.
The dancing man, Simon Tregenza, up towards full forward Modra. Lip tap. Further back to Micken. Can't get the ball clear, and Fitzroy will get out of trouble when it looked rather ominous for them. Broderick combines with Blakey, and Blakey kicks Fitzroy up towards the half-forward area. The gather is by Richard Osborne. Oh, tripped, and surely will take the free kick. But Ben Hart, maybe that wasn't such a bad ploy.
Yes, well done.
Now the game's starting to open up, and as Osborne gets a quick one, really no closer to goal. In fact, Blakey is further away from goal, but at least they retain possession. Blakey looking for options, Wine, but then he decided against it, and centre-half forward he goes. Jarman holding front position, guard. Strong play, and good play by Osborne, and again swung as he got his kick, only to find Maynard. Maynard out wide, Tregenza leading in the race of the ball. Johnson will be behind him. Just gets his kick. Again, it's a contest here on centre wing. That was Baldwin and Liptak. And the ball to be thrown in on centre wing. Jason Baldwin, good year in his first year, 1989 from Coldstream. Ball thrown in centre wing. Well done by Wren. Down to Lee. And turn a high one in towards centre-half forward. Mark Micken behind. Play on, said the umpire. He really didn't control it. Plenty of time to spot Hart. Morris behind. Interesting matchup. Well done, Hart. That's his forte. Into goal he goes. And a good mark by Modra in front of Lynch on that occasion. The smaller man using his body to perfection.
Yes, and Darryl Hart did that very, very well. Helped create the play there. And what an excellent mark there from Modra. Kept his eyes on the footy.
He's already kicked 1 goal tonight. This is his 6th game for the season. Should be bread and butter for the full forward. It is. His 2nd goal as Adelaide kicked their 8th goal. 8-2-50. Fitzroy 8-3-27. 4-3-27.
Here we see this. Micken did very well. He got away from Caven, who's his immediate marksman here. Just watch this. Hart bringing the ball down to ground very cleverly to control it. And then the ball going forward, and Modra's great mark.
A good effort there by Modra. Not blessed with a lot of centimetres, and Rodney Maynard has had a crack on the face. Free kick. It'll be taken by O'Connell. He kicks it very, very wide. Attempted mark by Roos. He's going crook. I don't know what for. Maybe that the umpire. Wren in the centre of the ground.
Shepherding, I think, Robbo.
Shepherding, and the mark is taken by Caven at half-back for Fitzroy. Caven's long kick goes back towards centre-half forward in the Roos direction, but there's 2 players back there, Wren and his opponent Maynard, making it very difficult for Paul Roos, and the umpire will call for a bounce, and there you see the disappointment of Paul Roos, and he's just letting John Russo know all about it.
Dundas back on. Brett Stevens, the player to come off.
O'Connell gets the tap out. McDermott, now Roos, gets through. No, his kick smothered. Well done, McDermott. Here's Rouvray, a big, robust sort of a player, and quite desperate in defence, and he does well. Finds some space for himself to kick it up near the wing. No mark taken. It's punched back near the centre of the ground. O'Connell tries to crash his way through. In there is Lindner. He gathers the ball pretty well. Handball away to no one in particular. Chipping in is Broderick for Fitzroy. tries to get the hand pass to Wine. Wine skips around and gets back onto the right foot and kicks it in towards full forward. No mark taken. Bickley dragged off the football there by Fleming. The Crows appealing for the free kick. Osborne's snapshot for goal is way offline, and it's out of bounds on the full. And the cheers, well, I don't know whether there are any Fitzroy supporters here tonight, are there? Pretty silent when the Lions kick a goal.
Silent when anybody kicks a goal from the opposition over here at Football Park. Sean Wren will relieve for the Crows. Padded thighs, goes short. Maynard started at half forward, now half back. Interesting battle between he and Roos. Maynard getting a little bit of his own medicine because Roos prepared to run off half back. Now they run it out. Smart, a class player, back into the square. Not a good kick. Micken behind. Liptak once again, a high ball. Look how far this man is in front. Ducks as he takes the mark. That's Darryl Hart. And Morris has really got to tighten up. An interesting match. Morris has got the size. But Hart, not over-endowed with pace, but as I've mentioned, great anticipation, especially around goal. Hasn't kicked a goal yet. 2 goals last week against Melbourne. Distance could be a problem. I think it's going to make it. We'll wait on the umpire. It has. Darryl Hart has kicked his first goal. And the 9th for Adelaide. You can see there Alistair Lynch disagreeing. 9-2, 56, 4-3, 27.
Just see this set up play again. Liptak very quickly got his boot to ball. In fact, I thought that might have been touched off the boot, but allowed to play on.
I reckon this kick's close too, Ross.
And this, both Lynch and Caven suggest they may have touched.
So back in the centre, close to half-time, Adelaide lead 9-2 to 4-3. Fitzroy made some sort of a comeback about 5 or 6 minutes ago, but the Crows have kicked the last 2 goals. Umpire forced to bounce as John Blakey picks himself up from the Football Park turf. Young Crows fan there. Who knows, in a few years' time he may be wearing the jumper and playing out there on Football Park. Broderick, his kick goes wide. Wine, chased down by McGuinness. McGuinness falls on the football. Very risky business in today's caper. McDermott. Jamison, dragged off the football by Wheeldon. Little tiggy, touchwood. But Rod Jamison making it look just a little worse, and he receives the free kick behind the wing.
Fitzroy got their players all up the ground. Nobody in their 50-metre area. There's the ball with Jarman, a great handball. Great exponent as the siren goes here at half-time at Football Park. And after mounting a challenge halfway through the second quarter, Adelaide have come back strongly. 9-2, 56. Fitzroy, 4-3, 27.
So the third quarter starts here at Football Park, and Wren continues to dominate. He couldn't quite get an effective knockout to it. And underneath all of that, the umpires call for a bounce. Andrew Jarman, Tony McGuinness, Paul Roos, Jimmy Wind. And we'll start it all once again. Wren, well done O'Connell. Attempted hand pass by Broderick was blocked off by Jamison. Now Blakey receives the hand pass and kicks it in towards centre half forward. Ben Hart. Terrific hands by Fleming. Lovely little hand pass to Broderick, but his kick is very wide once again, and an indiscriminate kick really by Paul Broderick when he wasn't under a great deal of pressure, and the kick in will be done by Rouvray.
Centre wing he goes, a big fly from Jamison. A couple of big flies tonight, but he hasn't brought the ball down, but on that occasion he did. Further down centre wing he goes. Lindner going with a fly to the ball, can't control it, but does well on the second attempt. Up towards centre half forward, but only Brett Stevens, who went off the ground, interesting enough, in the second quarter, picked up a lot of possessions and probably one of Fitzroy's better players in that quarter. Beats everybody. The ball, centre wing. Jimmy Wine in the direction of Wheeldon. Scouts the pack well, looks for the handball, then goes back onto the left foot. Then in towards centre, into full forward. Lynch now playing up forward. And Smart doing well as he relieves for the Crows.
His hand pass a little too severe there for McGuinness, but the Crows are fortunate. The ball rebounded to Bickley. His kick into the centre of the ground. The good use of the body was by Lindner. That could have nearly been 50 metres against McCormack, but Lindner plays on quickly. The kick in towards the centre of the ground. Lip tack. Oh, down he goes. He's still got the football underneath. Maynard. Chance here for Jamison. Can't get through. Desperate stuff shown by Baldwin. And the umpire in the finish has to call for a bounce. Some real fierceness. There's Paul Abbott and young Barrett on the bench for the Fitzroy side. Wind dragged off the football by McDermott. Tregenza beaten for it by Baldwin. Baldwin playing for the free kick and gets it.
Good use of the body on that occasion by Baldwin. He goes in towards centre half forward. Roos behind, Hart waiting down. Now the other redhead, Maynard, breaks from centre half back towards centre half forward. This ball goes, and Hodges back on the ground after that clash with McDermott. Looks as if he is all right. But I think he'd have a headache.
That left hand heavily strapped too, Scotty.
A good kick from the centre square. They're playing a three-man forward line, Adelaide. Modra behind. Has he taken the mark? Yes, he has.
I think he almost thought himself, my word. Yes, I don't think he really expected the ball to sit with him like that. It was a fine deft touch, you might say, in this situation.
Well,
Just
they do
brought it
infringe,
back.
don't they, these players, when they're going for the ball, Ross?
Oh, and you didn't?
And you didn't. You are the greatest exponent of pushing and shoving in your later years at that full forward line. But here he is, Tony Modra.
I'm glad you got your glasses on tonight.
2 goals already. This could be his third. It is. And Tony Modra with his third goal increases the lead for Adelaide. 10-62. Fitzroy 4-3-27.
2 good marks. The first one from Hodges coming back onto the ground, as we mentioned, and a second better mark there from Modra.
Well, he's a promising player, Anthony Modra. Not a big boy, but certainly got a lot of ability, and he's kicked 3 goals so far. So the ball back in the centre, 10-2 to 4-3. Adelaide controlling the game so far. Fitzroy will have to do something quite outstanding to pull this game out of the fire. I know we've still got half a game to go, but they've only been able to kick 4 goals, and we're well into the second half right now. Wren, attempted kick there from McCormack, couldn't quite clear the pack. He's down there underneath it is Jeremy Gard, and the umpire will call for a bounce once again.
Yes, and with Scott Hodges coming back onto the ground for this third quarter, Scott Lee is the player that's on the bench.
So the ruckmen go at it once again. Wren out from Broderick. McCormack, Jarman. Oh, there's a free kick surely to be taken by Johnston. Grad when he didn't have the ball, and David Johnston will kick Fitzroy into attack. They badly need a succession of goals, not just 1 or 2, but the next 3 must come from Fitzroy if they're to have a chance in this game. Fleming marks at left half forward. His short pass is all right. Well done, Guard. Ran into an open space and has taken the mark within scoring distance.
Well done by Paul Roos to cut across and allow Fleming to take that mark. He took 2 players out.
Experience for you.
I was just going to say, using experience well then, Ross, because his intent was never the ball, and he could have infringed, but he attempted the mark or disguise his attempt for a mark, and it was well done.
Guard must capitalise. Shot for goal, looks pretty good. It's a goal to the Lions. So Jeremy Gard, he kicks his first goal, but more importantly for Fitzroy, they get their 5th. They still trail though by 29 points.
Yes, and Gard in his debut season with Fitzroy has been a fine contributor, I think. Very consistent performer, and he's been particularly early. He was giving them some bite up forward in shooting for goal, but he was a little inaccurate in the last few weeks. He's now kicked 8 for the season.
And John Russo gets the game underway again. He's got a very centre bounce work. O'Connell. Blakey. Osborne direction, but chipping in is McDermott. Done well tonight, the captain. Leads the AFL in possessions. And there's another one. Johnson behind, punches the ball away. Well done, Jarman. Boy, he is quick with those hands.
They call that the crow throw, don't they?
And here he is, the boy recruited originally from Dudagalla Stars out in Essendon, and weren't they a powerhouse in the mid-50s, the Dudagalla Stars. Stevens. They're running at Fitzroy. Broderick. Stevens again, running down well. Speed's not his forte. Bickley. Players throwing themselves in a scrappy game. But then again, Adelaide, a very committed side, hard at the ball. Not so good in disposing of it, but you can never question their endeavour and the pressure they put on the opposition.
Ross, is there any explanation for a guy like Brett Stevens to be run down like that?
No, I mean, he should know, Robert, the experience that he has. He's played 119 games of footy. You should know that he's got people around him.
Well, there's still a chance to score, Fitzroy. It's well within scoring distance for them. Bickley kicks it back out towards centre-half back. The race is on now. Liptak held. Ruse can't get the hand pass away. Andrew Jarman, that was very good. Handball over the top, that was legitimate. And finds Tregenza. Tregenza running. 2 touches onto the ground. Back to Liptak. Good combination here. McGuinness has run about 50 metres to receive the hand pass. And the kick pretty good. Modra. Still Tony Modra. Kick off the ground. I don't know whether he's got it. No, he hasn't. It was desperate stuff back there by Caven. And Anthony Modra must feel quite frustrated there. Adelaide 10-3, Fitzroy 5-3.
Wasn't a terrific build-up from the smaller running players. Well done there by Caven to get the ball across the line in safety.
Well, he's a prodigious kick of the football, the full-back for Fitzroy. It's a big kick up onto the edge of the square once again. McDermott, a high ball. Oh, look at this. 3 Crows, not a Fitzroy player in sight. And this man is well within kicking distance. Scott Hodges, you can see there carrying a mouse. Would you call that a mouse? On the right eye. He's had it stitched according to John Casey on the boundary line. That's the right eye, but it shouldn't impair his vision. It's a high ball. It looks good off the boot. No, it's floated right across the face. No, it's still in play. Morrish, tackled by Liptak. He's a speedster, Liptak. Appealing for the free kick, but the umpire won't have a bar of it, and the ball to be thrown in Adelaide's right forward pocket. Stevens will do the ruck work. Covering a lot of ground tonight, Stevens. Micken, the craftsman, gets it down. Seacamp, the high ball. Towards the centre it goes. A one-on-one situation. Hart hasn't he got some poise for a youngster. However, turns it over to McCormack, who in turn turns it over to Jamieson. Jamieson, who will he turn it over to?
The sloppy kick by Jamieson.
And Hodges will see the ball over the boundary line, left forward pocket for Adelaide.
Just a little bit lackadaisical, wasn't it, Robbo? Just the intent should have been a much more disciplined effort.
I like him. I think he's got a lot of class, but sometimes he just lets himself down. His endeavours are good, and then he just lets himself down with some sloppy disposal, either by hand or by foot. Talking about Rod Jamieson there, as Matthew Dundas forces the ball over the boundary line. It's about 55 to 60 metres around from the Crows' goal. Robert Shaw, well, he's had plenty of worries in the first half, and there's been nothing happen in the second half so far that would please him all that much. Kick up towards full forward. Modra's body work good. Daryl Hart off the ground to goal. Great play. Wonderful anticipation and perception by Daryl Hart. And he gets Adelaide's 11th goal. They lead by 36 points.
Well, if it's not Liptak who's taking advantage of this one-on-one duel between Caven and Modra, we see is the high kick from McDermott comes through there. The 2 duelling players there, and then Hart, ever the opportunist. Minimal touches, but very effective ones.
Dundas off the ground for Fitzroy. Barrett on. And it's Wren once again. Oh, copped a heavy one, McCormack. Is he going to be paid the free? Yes, he is. Really drew the umpire's attention to that. Brendan McCormack. Skilled player is McCormack. Johnson throwing himself in. Lindner started on interchange, gets it out. Now they run it. McGuinness. Nice left foot in towards Micken. Can he control it? No, the big fella has difficulty. Seacamp running onto it. Now it's Morrish. Out to Baldwin. Another handball. The 1-2. Blakey by himself, and there's the mark. Slow into the forward line. If you're a forward, you don't like the ball being handballed like that. You want it in quickly. Osborne. That's Broderick off the ground now. The Crows have got 3. You can see there young Hart once again. He'll do something with it. Well done for Genza to trap it. Well done by McGuinness. Hit the ball hard. Gavin couldn't control it, but he'll receive the free kick on centre wing.
And the Crows fans here quite happy with Tony McGuinness and his endeavours. I don't think there's been any doubt about his ability to play football. The kick towards centre-half forward. Morris is in trouble. Couldn't quite bend down. Good pressure applied. 3-on-1 there. Hodges, snapshot for goal. It's a goal! Magnificent stuff! Oh, Scott Hodges has kicked the goal of the night after recovering from a very heavy knock in the second quarter where his captain ran into him, and that really is terrific stuff by Hodges.
Well, I've been watching him fairly closely tonight, Scott Hodges, and his endeavour in tackling, chasing, presenting himself has been very good. And that's an area of his game where I thought early doors needed to work hard on, and he's done that, and that's been terrific for himself and for his team. And then you work hard, you get the reward with a great goal like that.
He's proving to himself he can play up the ground. Becoming a more versatile player. At least he's trying something now. O'Connell running along the line. Blakey in now, not coming off the wing. McGuinness once again picking up a lot of kicks. A high ball, Hart underneath it. What can the little fellow do? Nothing. It's Morris who punches it away. Stevens, another high ball. This is old-fashioned football. Drops. Can't control it, Tregenza. Now breaks. He's a class act. Goes in goalward. Right on the edge of the square. The big men are there. It's Micken who can't control it. Liptak. And Hart pushes the ball over the boundary line. Left forward pocket. Graham Corns.
You would wonder there, Don, how that ball didn't go over the line for a behind, wouldn't you? It was so close.
Now Micken will do the work with Stevens. Smorish. Shepherding off was Wine. No one can really take it. It's Wren. McGuinness spins out it, but then into trouble. Guard. Maynard. Scrappy stuff. Now Fitzroy will try and run it, but can he get it? Ruse, he does. Just. Wheeldon. Now Pays. Coming in tonight. Has done well. Solid performance.
Good kick.
Down towards Hodges.
Excellent kick. Just carried the Fitzroy player's head and to the advantage of Scott Hodges. Hodges, a long kick in towards the square. Modra a little early. Liptak trying to rove that pack. Baldwin back there for Fitzroy, and we'll have a boundary thrown in that left forward pocket for Adelaide. Well, they're dominating this third quarter. Fitzroy have managed one goal. The Crows have kicked 3 and increased their lead from half-time. Here's Stevens working very hard in that full-back area. Seacamp couldn't quite take the mark. Liptak again. Little kick off the ground goes to the advantage of Jamison. Jamison's long kick. Oh, Modra! Jumped early, got rid of Caven, and has taken the mark of the night.
I'll tell you what, they're not easy, those ones. When you get that high and you're up early, keep your eye on the footy. They had to mark out in front and control it in his hands, brought into his chest in the end. Terrific mark.
He's been going to do it for a little while.
Been wanting to.
I'll tell you what, it was a good leap.
He's been warming up.
And Modra quite simply kicks his 4th goal. Adelaide lead by 8 goals. High over the top was Micken. Liptak couldn't get through. Neither can McCormack for Fitzroy. And the umpire will be forced to bounce once again.
A lot of players around the ball. It's been the practice tonight. Stevens, Micken. Expect Micken to get it down, and he does. Should be a free kick to Roos, but the umpire says play on. It was against Maynard. Jamison. McDermott. McGuinness. Out wide he goes, looking for Lindner. I think he's found him. He has. Lindner on the edge of the square. He's got Tregenza, and that's his mark. And Turney will go, no, he chips it short to Modra. Has he taken that? Is a good mark, because I was a little critical of Modra earlier, because he does play from behind a lot.
Well, he does like a jump, a bit like Rod Jamison at times, but here, to mark like that, under that sort of pressure from Lynch, it's one of the better marks you'll ever see. Whilst it looks straightforward, they are very, very hard to take.
Hasn't played too many games this year, Tony Modra. Played very well in the night series early in the year. Lining up for his 5th goal. 30 metres from goal. The angle rather acute. The crowd like it. Does the umpire? He does. His 5th goal, and Adelaide march on. 14-3-87. Fitzroy 5-3-33.
And it's good to see them sort those little bits and pieces out of their play that we were talking about earlier, where they were just fiddling around with the footy, controlling it, but about to turn them over. Now more direct and purposeful, and a goal results.
Well, Fitzroy, they're really struggling now. McDermott gets the Crows up towards half forward. Micken tap into the advantage of Tregenza. Hand pass to Liptak. Liptak's kick into the goal square. They've messed it up again. Daryl Hart, no, you should have given the handball away. You must be penalised now. I think you could see the goals looming up, Daryl Hart.
Doesn't every rover in the forward pocket see those?
He doesn't mind kicking one, does he? Out towards half-back, marking contest. Roos has a chance, tries to get it to Jimmy Wine. McGuinness's hand pass over the top was effective. Tregenza's little kick, a little too far there for Liptak, and it's intercepted there by Broderick.
Dundas back on. Sorry, Robert. Dundas back on. Barrett off.
Broderick from centre half-back, kicks it out towards the wing. Bickley, hard at the football. So was O'Connell. His hand pass to no one, really. Nigel Smart, very well balanced. Pays, gets past. Then hand passes to Lindner, who's run nicely. Lindner's kick in towards full forward. Punched away by Morris. Goes back in towards centre half-back. Liptak. Now Seacamp for Fitzroy. Runs through the half-back flank region and kicks it up towards half-forward for the Lions. Being held there was Caven. It's hurried over the boundary line there by Dundas and Pays.
It's on behind play.
And Caven not happy maybe with what happened?
No, it wasn't Caven.
It was Abbott and Rouvray.
Yes, and Abbott wasn't happy with the way that Rouvray was holding on, and Cow kicked. Consequently, an altercation between those two. Jamison hits the ball on. That's about all you can do in a pack like that. Hitting the ball hard was Hodges, but the ball over the boundary line on the full is going Fitzroy's way. McDermott, the culprit, but really he had no alternative. Dundas, who's just come back on the ground. The big fellow there, Wren, should take it, just can't. Maynard, underground pass. This man's got some class. Smart. Lindner, a paddock in which to work the forwards now. A good kick by Lindner. What can Modra do underneath it? Morris, hard holding, gets in front. Well done, the little fellow. Does use his body well in these situations. Attempted to bring the ball back.
It was nearly on the full, wasn't it?
I'd like
nearly
to
on the full, yes.
He tapped it onto the other guy's foot,
yeah, he's trying to bring it back into play, and in doing so, he just knocked it onto Johnson's, or Morris's foot, I should say.
A little technical. Hodges. Ball, nobody can get it out. Hart once again tackled by two. Oh, he's going to be king. Did he have a chance?
Wouldn't you like to put those umpires into a football jumper and ask them to try and do some of the things they expect the players to do?
A little bit frustrated, Daryl Hart. And that's Jeremy Garden, the back pocket for Fitzroy. Outer wing he goes. It's a high ball. Wren can't control it. Abbott. Roos, well done. Off the ground again goes Dundas, but it hits the leg of the Crows player. Wide. That was Smart. Wine can't control it. Centre half forward he goes. Wheeldon in front. Maybe a free kick to Osborne, but cleaning up well is Bruce Lindner.
See, that Ben Hart's played a fantastic game back there. He has been as miserly as old Scrooge.
We talked about Wanganeen on Friday night, Robbo, another South Australian. This Hart is as good.
Here's a chance for the Crows. The kick goes up towards the wing. Liptak. Little kick off the ground by McDermott. Still in the field of play. No longer as it bundles its way over the boundary line.
Players like Hart and Wanganeen just stand out so much because they had the composure and the presence of mind not to panic, and they're playing on good players. On Friday night it was Wanganeen on Dacos, did it very well, and tonight Hart on Osborne.
But he's only 18, Ross. As a 17-year-old he broke into this side. It's a terrific effort, isn't it, for a teenager?
My word.
Hart's little kick off the ground. He still can't quite control the football. Determinedly goes after it, but so does John Blakey, and he clears for Fitzroy. It's a scruffy old kick out towards half-back. Wheeldon can't control it, and it goes over for a throw-in.
Wheeldon preparing to come back on.
And Wheeldon being taken off the ground. He's had a quiet night. There's been a few Fitzroy players in the same boat. Number 22 for Fitzroy coming on was Caven, as Ross has just mentioned. Jarman.
And you can't criticise Robert Shaw. He's pulled changes everywhere. He's swung them everywhere to try and get something. He hasn't tolerated players out of form. He's taken them off the ground no matter who they are. And the players just not responding. Stevens and Micken go at it once again. Fitzroy break from half-back, but it's Linder who's done particularly well since coming off the bench. Cutting out once again. McCormack standing the mark. Across he goes, backing back O'Connell, but it's Wren who had to sit. It was good play by O'Connell. Hard thing to do. Takes a lot of courage to run with your back to the ball like that, but the big fellow's taken it. Short he goes. Oh, sets up. Was that Page or no? Jamison underneath it. And again, the umpire has got to come in and ball that up as McGuinness and Blakey contest the ball. No, it was Rouvray. Here's the bump again.
Now that's
Paul
courage.
Rouvray.
Yep.
Oh,
you mentioned O'Connell earlier on. That's just as good.
Well done by Johnson. Jarman with the quick hands. Lip tack. Quickly he gets it off his boot again. They turned the ball over both sides tonight. Pressure was the problem early on. And it's Roos out the centre wing. Oh, well done. Let's have it. Eddie, as he's affectionately known,
Had a quiet night.
goes along the fence to the boundary line, but cut out by Rouvray.
And Rouvray looks a likely type. He's at left half back for Adelaide. Kicks at about 45 metres near the half forward line. And two Crows players fighting for the football. Underneath there, Micken and Hodges. And the ball held in by the Fitzroy defenders. Darren Wheeldon and Chris Barrett on the interchange bench there for Fitzroy. Umpire throws the ball in the air. Stevens breaks clear and gets his left foot to it. It's marked there by Abbott. He plays on quickly. Kicks it up towards centre half forward. No mark taken. The ball at the back. Ben Hart quick to recover. Hand pass. Goes wider to Bickley. Tackled too high. The advantage rule should be paid. It is. Nigel Smart runs away from the back pocket. His kick goes out towards the wing. Maynard gathers it quite nicely in the finish. Tregenza's kick. Up towards the half-forward area. Liptak gathers it. He's played a terrific game, Matthew Liptak. His short pass in towards half-forward has been marked by Hodges, and he really is a darling of the crowd here at Football Park, Scott Hodges. The kick, he looked for Modra. Getting back there was Johnston. He's tackled a little too high by Andrew Jarman. Play goes on. He tries to get the hand pass away. It's intercepted by Morrish, and Morrish clears for Fitzroy. Back towards half-forward. That should have been a free kick maybe against Hodges, and it goes to O'Connell. Plays on quickly to Seacamp. In turn to Baldwin, and Fitzroy get the ball into the centre of the ground. Wind misses it. McGuinness capitalises. Hand passes inaccurate. Maynard back to McGuinness, and Adelaide will mount something.
And there they go through Pays. Pays will go long looking for Modra, but he's again behind. He's got to get in front. He has done it on a couple of occasions.
It's a pretty
he looks a better
kick.
player when he does get in front.
In fact, on that occasion, Don, I think he did lead, and then the kick wasn't on to his advantage. So it did appear as if he was behind, but in fact he had left to the left-hand side. The ball was kicked to the right.
Micken, the technician, should get his hand to the ball. He does. Not clearly, comes straight to ground. Liptak in there, and again the umpire has got no hesitation but to break it up by bouncing the ball down and restarting play.
Probably been the longest period in the game between goals being scored.
McDermott, left foot he goes. It's a high ball. It'll drop in the goal square. Modra can't control it, and Roos appealing play on, said the umpire. I agree with him. Lynch tackled. Roderick. Now it's Dundas in the back pocket. Everybody behind play. His teammates further down the ground, but it's McCormack who pushes Linder out. Blakey running onto it. He'll take this ball. It was coming. Rouvray and Blakey meet heavily. Jamison cleans it up. Now Hodges offers the lead. It's Linder who gets it across to him. Oh, Jamison running onto it. And the siren goes here at Football Park for three-quarter time. And the Crows holding a commanding lead, 14-3-87. Fitzroy, 5-3-33.
So here we go, the last quarter from Football Park. Adelaide versus Fitzroy. The Crows lead by 9 goals. Well, they've kicked fairly accurately to say the least. 14 goals, 3. And I think John Casey mentioned at quarter time that last week, kicking with the wind in the second term, the Crows were only able to kick 10 points from that centre bounce. Umpire forced to bounce once again. Wren tries to get it down. On the bottom of all that, McDermott, look at him working overtime to try and clear the ball.
Interesting watching the umpire, Michael Abbott, bouncing that ball down. He holds it lengthways, whereas the Victorians hold across the ball, but this time he throws it up. Big pack around the ball. Really, you can't do much except soccer it off the ground. Ball won a good pick-up, but runs into a lot of trouble. The big pack were following him, and they were going to run him down. It was just a matter of when.
Well, he turned back into trouble, Scotty, didn't he? He could have just got the ball quickly to boot and got the ball out of the congested area.
The packs moved from one side of the ground to the other. Big hit out by Stevens. Well done by Fleming. And Hodges. Done well since coming on at half-time after receiving that knock. A lot of room for the forwards to move for Adelaide down on their forward line. But what does he do? Found the hole, and out comes Morris. Morris in turn, centre wing to McCormack. Never wastes the ball, McCormack, but he puts it up high. Spectacular leap by Fleming across the front, but he can't control it. There's Broderick. He's got a player out further, but he just can't get the ball to him, and it is Bickley who cleans up for Adelaide.
Bickley's kick goes towards centre half forward. Limner, the bounce was kind for him. His kick into the pocket, maybe a little too far for Modra, but Modra's able to collect it. And the kick, Ross Glendenning is the man.
Fantastic.
Giving the plaudits, and the fans love it.
Great running the first innings from Liptak, reading the play and getting his legs going to get down to make that position, but disposal from Modra was just outstanding.
Liptak, 21 possessions and 2 goals.
Deserved better.
He wouldn't be happy with that, I don't think, Matthew Liptak. He's played very well this evening. Set it up pretty well in the first quarter when he had about 5 or 6 possessions. Adelaide 14-4, Fitzroy 5-3.
Disciplined effort from this kick in. The Adelaide players pushing players around as outriders. Bit of movement there for Lynch. Looks for Blakey. That's his target. Can't control it, John Blakey. McCormack in over the top. There's Broderick. Baldwin once again. High, desperate kick down towards centre half forward. In the centre of the square it is at the moment.
Free kick
and a
to
free
Smart.
kick. Nigel Smart, the recipient.
He's played a steady game across the half-back line.
Congested forward line. The high ball. Micken using his body. Stevens gets it down. McCormack. The ball trapped underneath players, and again, the feature of the play has been the umpires bouncing the ball down.
And there an instance of what I was talking about earlier on with Scott Hodges, a preparedness to really fight for the footy, kept it in the forward line for his teammates.
Ball in dispute once again. No, the umpire paying the free kick on that occasion.
In the back, definitely.
And in situations like this, the umpire's keen to break up packs. If you can put your body in first over the ball, something technical comes along, the umpires are going to pay it. Because they want to break up a pack. And David Johnson,
been one of Fitzroy's better players,
will relieve on the half-back line. Short he goes. Jimmy Wine doing it well. What can he set up? He's looking for something. Baldwin over the top. Guard. Wine will go back after it. Baldwin off the ground. Not pretty stuff. Pays. Free kick to Pays. You can see there under a lot of pressure as he got that handball away and didn't go to the team's advantage. So consequently, it goes. Should go back, shouldn't it?
He's trying to sponge a kick here. Chris Linder. He's got it.
And I think he's conned the umpire.
It's got to come back the other way.
Unbelievable. So Linder's kick goes up towards the half-forward area. Lynch gets the ball away to Blakey. Blakey's kick in towards half-forward. And held when he didn't have the football was O'Connell. Perhaps a little tiggy touch would, but it certainly was there.
The umpire could have been paying Linder the relayed free kick.
Well, maybe. The kick by O'Connell goes in towards the forward pocket. Jarman roving. Hand pass not bad. Bickley in turn to Smart. And Smart, who covers territory very quick. Long strides and quick. Kicks it wide out towards Liptak. He tries to tap it to his own advantage. Johnston overruns it. Still an opportunity for the Crows to move it forward.
Why is that a free kick to Jimmy Wine?
Why isn't it?
Why isn't it?
Well, that's what I said.
Yeah, that's right.
I thought you were arguing because he should
Would
have.
I argue with you?
Well, the
man
umpire
also
doesn't
would.
agree with either one of you. He's going to throw it in the air.
Well, he should.
And the ruck contest up over the top was Johnston, and he bashes the ball over the boundary line for a throw-in.
Fitzroy Interstate Members Club. I wonder how many of those they've got. Stevens and Micken. Micken tries to get it down behind. Stevens follows up with a boot on the ground. There's Jarman over the ball once again. Stevens, well done. Small, the ball smothered. Well done, Tregenza. McCormack can't control it. Now it's Magenza. Heavy tackle laid. Turnover. Stevens attempts to run it. Quickly gets his kick is Baldwin. Under a lot of pressure, Dundas. McGuinness pushed off the ball as he attempted to kick it. And it's a free kick. Yes, it's going McGuinness's way against Broderick.
I tell you what, he was lucky he didn't infringe against Dundas.
Correct.
And here's the free kick. Watch Broderick. Oh well.
Well, you were arguing about the other one before.
Well, I
not being
thought that was
paid.
in the side. Micken follows that. No, it's Hodges. McDermott dummies a hand pass, then gets his kick.
What about that one?
Well, I don't know. What do you
Played in the back to McDermott.
Well, that was too high, I thought. And McDermott will take the kick a long way from the goals.
McDermott now at right half forward. He kicks it in towards the forward pocket. At the back was Modra. Johnston in front. The ball clears the pack and goes over for a boundary throw in the right forward pocket for Adelaide. They lead 14-4. Fitzroy 5-3. Micken to do the ruck work against Brett Stevens. Brett Stevens always gives his all for the Lions. Jarman, little hand pass. Daryl Hart completes proceedings and kicks another goal. Well, it all just looks so simple there. Andrew Jarman's very quick hands set it up for Daryl Hart, and the Crows 15-4 lead Fitzroy 5-3.
Yeah, good tap from Micken there too, Ian, and allowing the players on the deck to get first chance at the footy, which that player was Jarman. You'll always get good value from that player.
Well, Andrew Jarman set Matthew Liptak on his way in the first quarter, and he just set Daryl Hart on his way. Very creative player. Gets under the pack as well. McDermott. Maynard covers a lot of ground. Oh, the big fella showing mobility. Modra can't control it. Hodges, what can this fellow do? Goes goalward, can't bring it back far enough. Goes through for a point, but still a good effort under the situation. Scott Hodges kicked one booming goal in the third quarter. Now the Fitzroy players ring. Ruse. Oh, behind Maynard. Was he pushing Ruse out? I think he was.
Oh, looked a clean mark to me.
I agreed with the umpire on that one. And Ruse. Centre wing he goes. The big pack under. Oh, the second one of the night. First was to Jamison. The second to Smart. Smart centre wing. Back from where the ball came. Maynard underneath it. Wine. Quickly with the hands. Ruse. Back to Wren. And the big fellow who will just hold proceedings up now quickly plays on. Possession football, McGuinness.
McGuinness is deep on the right half forward area. Now he elects to play on and get onto that favoured left foot. In towards centre half forward. Not a bad kick. Nearly the mark to Maynard. Back goes Morris. Gives away a little bit of ground. Seacamp. His pass is okay. Finds Ruse. Ruse quickly. Well, that was a little fortuitous. Guard. Fumble. Stevens caught. Tackled by McDermott all right. Jarman. Maynard fumbles, but he had plenty of time. Then gets the handball to Micken. He's well tackled by Johnston. Should have nearly been rewarded, David Johnston. Micken caught.
What about the hand
red-handed?
Well, Maynard should have kicked.
I mean, there's not much value in punching the ball forward 10 metres.
Should have kicked.
I mean, a kick will cover a lot more ground and it'll go quicker into the forward line.
Especially if the guy's marked who you're handballing to. Micken punches it further forward. Daryl Hart. It's bounced through for another goal. He's got 4.
Scott Lee, number 13 on centre wing. He's replacing Andrew Jarman, who went off the ground. There's the game over now as far as Jarman is concerned. That's what O'Connell should have done earlier. Just send the ball on, break up the pack. Get it running your way. Fleming over the top of the ball. He's outnumbered 2-1. Bickley, solid player on that half-back line, and gives also a little bit of dash. And the ball to be thrown in near centre wing, or halfway between the half-forward flank and centre wing. There's Jarman. Creative player, puts himself over the ball. A free kick, a rush infringement. It's going Sean Wren's way. The big fellow's battled manfully tonight.
Played a terrific game, and he spots Maynard further afield. Maynard's got plenty of time to even play on, and kicks it inside 50 metres. No mark taken. Daryl Hart. Oh, look at the crumbing. He is just absolutely brilliant at it. 5 goals to Daryl Hart. And Ross, I doubt whether he'd run out of sight on a dark night, but he just crumbs around that forward line magnificently.
Yes, and Wren comes off while that happened, and Hart, you're quite right, Robbo. He's not terribly effective. A little bit hunched in the back area, but I tell you what, he certainly gives great value, and only needs 5 or 6 possessions.
I wonder if Wren's copying a blast there.
Oh, I think he might be just getting a well done, I think.
Back in the centre. 107 playing 33. Ross, his father played for St Kilda in the late 50s, doing the ruck work. Oh, ugly there. And the ball again to be bounced down.
Well, I think if their attitude had been the same last week, it would have been a much closer game against Melbourne. You could see right from the start that Adelaide was spirited, and Fitzroy maybe have come over here feeling that they were going to win the game anyway.
Down once again the ball goes. A quick kick out of that pack, out into no man's land. Who's going to run to one? Stevens quickly. Morrish. Micken trying to hold the play up. Ugly tight football. As McGuinness will push Jimmy Wind over, and I think Wind's going to get the free kick. He is. Maybe for a push in the back. Jimmy Wind, half-back flank for Fitzroy. High ball, centre wing. Out of centre wing it goes. Players underneath. Ruse covers a lot of ground. Quick kick on the left foot. Maynard, his opposite number, getting back. Bickley hit it hard. Kept on going. Pushes it on the ground. And Fleming over the top. And Chris McDermott getting up once again from the bottom of the pack.
14 minutes left in the game. And there haven't been too many Adelaide Crows fans leave the ground this week. They've got plenty to smile about. They've seen their team completely dominate this game. They kicked 5 goals to 1 in the first quarter, 4 goals to 3 in the second term, 5 goals to 1 in the third term, and they've just steadily ground Fitzroy into the turf. The Lions struggling to force the ball forward. Up high was McDermott. In there is Ross. McDermott gets it again. I'd love to know how many possessions he's had. It'd be close to 40, I would think. A kick by McDermott. It's punched away by the Fitzroy defence. Now it's forced in towards McCormack. Here's a chance now for Baldwin. Baldwin's short kick. Too high. Picked off by Smart. No, Jamison. In turn, Ross. He's held in. Opportunity now for Dundas. His kick around the corner. OK. Unmarked there is O'Connell. Well within scoring distance.
He's done that well tonight, McConnell. Dropping back into O'Connell. Dropping into the forward line.
O'Connell will kick from 40 metres. May have just slipped a little when he kicked it. It's close to the line. It might be a goal. It is. So O'Connell kicks his second goal for Fitzroy. A belated one late in the last term, but Adelaide leads 17-5 to 6-3.
And Dundas, who's had just come off the ground, having been the player to pass the ball to O'Connell. And O'Connell, whose work rate's been very good as it normally is, but just needs to get a bit more value, as Scotty says, from the efforts around the ground. But his two goals tonight have been very good.
Barrett on the ground for Fitzroy. Dundas off. O'Connell. Hayes hit it hard. Couldn't control it. Lip tack out wide to Tregenza. Tackled by Baldwin. McGuinness. Right foot he goes. Modra in front. Used the body well. Out-bustled or out-bodied Lynch. Hart. Clean bowls him. Fitzroy players get numbers back. Jimmy Wine putting his body over it. Hart once again. McGuinness left foot chips it. And he has found Andrew Pays well within kicking distance. Andrew Pays playing on the half-back line.
Well done by McGuinness. Just took the right option. Could have screwed it back and had a dip at goal.
9.6 metres the distance.
And this could be his first goal for the season. It is. Adelaide increase their lead. 18 goals, 5. Terrific kicking, 113. 6-3, 39 Fitzroy. Here's the pass.
Well, this should please Graham Corns, this last quarter effort. There could have been a tendency just to drop the work rate off. They've picked it up and continue on in the right vein so they can finish this season off as best they can.
Well, we've got 11 and a half minutes left in the game. Ruck contest, McDermott again. And this is a good kick by McDermott. Up towards full forward, but chipping in to take the marker's guard. He gets the hand pass away to Lynch. Lynch's short kick. Maybe a little too high. Yes, it was. Tregenza, who's played quite well as a player in the square on his own. No, unselfishly, he goes to Daryl Hart. Daryl Hart looking for goal number 6. The handball to Hodges. Hodges kick up into the goal square. Modra. Much better judgment there than his opposite number 6, Jeremy Gard. And Modra marks, and he has the chance to kick his 6th goal.
Just looking at this, Gard did the right thing, got in front, and then just at the last minute, Modra using his chest and legs to give Gard just a bit of a nudge to take him out of the contest.
He's only about 3 or 4 metres out from goal, and he kicks it straight through. And Modra gets his 6th goal. Daryl Hart has kicked 5. Gee, the goal scorers on the other side of the ledger for the Lions look pretty sick. Roos 2, O'Connell 2, Gard 1 and Osborne 1.
Yes, when you think of it too, Robbo, there, Roos has played a fair bit in the back line. O'Connell's been your mainstream ruckman. It's a bit of a sad state of affairs if your forwards haven't been able to contribute.
Well, Anthony Modra equals the task against Footscray. He kicked 6 goals in that night game earlier in the season, and he's kicked 6 again tonight. Roos, who got it out. Smart off the ground. That should have been a throw, but the umpire not in position to see it. Lindner, a high ball, half forward it goes. Lip tack underneath it. It was Johnson getting back to it. Stevens, who's battled hard. Interesting battle between he and Micken. Johnson picked up well, just goes back into traffic, smothered. Not a good kick. Trying to do something is Jamison. Modra be in front on that occasion, but Lynch takes the mark. Alistair Lynch, a great athlete, probably the fastest man out there for Fitzroy, and a great leap as well. Centre wing, Roos, should be paid the mark and is. Centre wing, it's Paul Roos. Not much offering down forward, very static forward line. You can see there, looking around, shaking his head in frustration, and ultimately goes long. O'Connell, good hands. Fleming. Barrett, who's come off interchange, gets tagged. McGuinness breaks it up, and he relieves. Lindner can't control it, and the ball over the boundary line on Adelaide's left back flank.
Well, Bruce Lindner, who started the game on the interchange bench and spent a fair bit of the night there, has had 16 possessions since coming onto the ground. Ross doing the ruck work with O'Connell. It's kicked forward by McCormack, in towards centre-half forward, punched away from Abbott by Smart. Here's an opportunity for Tregenza. Puts it into the path of Bickley. Back to Tregenza, who did very well. He's a good player, Tregenza. Worked very hard. McDermott, his kick up towards centre-half forward. No mark taken. Good reading there by Liptak. He ran a long way to get into that action. Chance for Hodges. Gets his foot to the ball. Daryl Hart, no, it's out of bounds according to the boundary umpire. Well, that was pretty close. But the boundary umpire was very close to the action. And Scott Hodges there just looks a little dejected as play goes on. Ruck contest. Micken. Stevens. Stevens giving away centimetres. Trying to crash through was Pays. Blakey there for Fitzroy. Stevens. But it comes back to Micken. He kicks quickly up towards full forward. Lynch attacks the football. Beaten for it by Hart. Unselfishly, Modra will get another one. 6 goals, 7 goals to Modra.
Well, Modra's 7th goal. Really quick work done by Hart as Linnard breaks. Now go long. This looks effective. Ball punched to ground. Well done, Liptak. They do this well. Liptak chips towards goal. And will it break? No, it doesn't. But Hart and Liptak rove those packs particularly well. As Fitzroy have made a change. Wilden coming on. He's going down to the forward line. And Paul Morris off. He was Daryl Hart's man earlier in the game. And these Fitzroy defenders being ringed as Lynch brings the ball back in. Stevens, McCormack started on interchange. Out wide to O'Connell. This puts a lot of pressure on the ruckman when you start to be used as O'Connell is. He's kicked 2 goals. Ross sees his opponent now. Wren off the ground. Jamieson over it. Broderick pays, offering pressure. Barrett, well done. Quickly by McCormack. What can Fitzroy do? Osborne off the ground. Out wide, and I think Fitzroy will run onto this. It'll be interesting. Wine just can't get onto it. McGuinness, opposite number. We relieve and quite content to see that ball over the boundary line, receiving the plaudits of a very parochial crowd. Tony McGuinness, ball on the Crows' left half-back flank.
He covered some territory again there, Tony McGuinness. Nigel Smart tries to get the hand pass out. McDermott leaves it, but he goes in after again when Jamieson couldn't quite control the football. Richard Osborne is there for Fitzroy. He bombs away ineffectively. Sets it up for the Crows' defence. Here's Pays. He may give away a behind. Oh, that's a throw anyway. But it's through for a rush behind to Fitzroy. Well, the Lions will have a long trip home from Adelaide. Fans there, obviously Crows fans.
And Robin, just looking at the next 2 games, or next 3, they've got St Kilda away, Geelong at home, and then West Coast at the Wacker.
Yes, it's a
pretty tough
tall
call.
order, isn't it?
Yep.
Ben Hart kicks into the far side. McDermott can't control the football. McCormack just looks unfit, Brendan McCormack. And McDermott will take the free kick. May have been deemed a trip. He gets back quickly. Kicks it up towards half-forward. Limner can't take the mark. Roos is there. Held, but he didn't have the football. And Paul Roos will take the free kick on centre wing on the far side of the ground. Paul Roos, always a great contributor for Fitzroy. And it must disappoint him when the team puts in performances like this. Fleming, a good mark in front of Bickley. Not a bad crowd here this evening. 25,597. Kick into the full forward area. Free kick to Wielden. In the back, was it, Ross?
That's what the umpires said. Just watching this again. Just trying to spoil the trip.
Well, Darren Wielden has the football and he's well within scoring distance, about 25 metres out on a 45-degree angle. And he has yet to kick a goal. Wielden. Shot for goal. Looks pretty good. It's a Fitzroy goal. Darren Wielden kicks his first goal. Fitzroy kicked their 7th. And the scoreboard is a sorry tale for the Lions. Adelaide 20 goals 6. Fitzroy 7 goals 4.
Yes, and Wielden, and also, as we see, a good mark there from Fleming. Wielden and Osborne have had very difficult times tonight trying to get into the play. The ball's rarely been up there. In the end, there was a trip and or a push. But those 2 players, as I mentioned, finding things pretty tough.
It's been a dirty night for Fitzroy. 9 points in the first quarter, 21 in the second, 6 in the third. They've added 13 in the last quarter. Ball half back with Bickley. Really does give them a little bit of run off that back line. Bickley, a very effective half back. Hodges attempts to push the ball on. Liptak doing well around midfield. McGuinness, he's hurt himself too, young Matthew Liptak. Let's hope he's all right. The pack, ugly once again. And again, the umpires have got to come in and bounce it down. Michael Abbott, the man in charge on this occasion, throws the ball up. Very dewy tonight. Probably a reason why the players have had difficulty controlling this ball. Well done. Scott Lee can run onto it. Been on and off interchange. Richard Osborne now on the half-back line or on the ball. Had a quiet night, been beaten by Ben Hart, then went half-back down on the forward line, now back up on the ball.
Yes, well, a couple of times he's actually run from full forward down to the back line just to give himself a bit of a workout. But in doing so, he's taken Hart close to the footy.
Micken edging his opponent out, Stevens. Ball with Lynch. Lynch breaking well. Goes out centre wing, a good kick off the boot. And Jimmy Wind, who's battled particularly hard, has been a good battle between he and McGuinness, takes the mark centre wing. Picks up a lot of possessions for Fitzroy. Well done, Broderick. Now he's got a man out in the open. What can O'Connell do? No left foot, goes on the right. Well done, Ben Hart. Look at the athleticism of that youngster. Well done by Wielden. He hasn't given up. Well done, Hart. That's terrific play, and again draws the plaudits of the crowd. McDermott across to Tregenza. This looks good. Smart. He can go to McGuinness. He does on centre wing. The handball. In turn across to Lee from McDermott. Lindner, he gets in the action. Now Modra, what can he do? He's in front of Lynch. Lynch attempts to punch it away, but it was more Modra's misjudgment than Lynch's good play. Blakey, back pocket. We'll see the ball over the boundary line in the Crows' right forward pocket.
Well, the fans certainly loved that build-up. It looked quite promising, but the kick by Lindner just a little too high there for Tony Modra. Micken down to Barrett for Fitzroy. Barrett kicks it into the vacant area in the centre of the ground. No free kick being paid out of that. It could have been one to Fitzroy. Lindner bangs it back into half forward, and Hodges takes an excellent mark over Caven.
Yes, as I mentioned earlier on, I've been very impressed with his game tonight. Even about 5 minutes ago, he really put his body into shepherd a couple of teammates, went out of his way to make the effort, which was terrific to see.
Right eye nearly closed too.
Now Scott Hodges, he's kicked one. He should kick this, and he does. 2 goals to Scott Hodges. I think he kicked something like 150 goals in the South Australian Football League. Ross, what, year before last?
Yes, he's certainly, as you say, the player they look to as they join the competition to be their spearhead, but as it's worked out, it's had ups and downs, but has now certainly worked his way back in and is doing the right thing. And as Don mentioned earlier in the commentary, to be able to play up the ground, having been used at full forward for most of your career in senior footy, it's a tribute that he's been able to adjust to that.
And I think that's what the fans appreciate, the fact that he's just fitting in.
Yep.
Well, that's his 8th goal for the 8th game for the season tonight. It's his 20th goal. Well done, McGuinness. Lip tack. Battled hard, lip tack. Broderick. The high ball coming from Osborne to centre half forward. It goes for Fitzroy. Have it. Well done. This looks good. Baldwin. What can Fitzroy do on this occasion? Wielden in front of Hart. Hart doing it well. Look at the desperation by Wielden. He's appealing for the free kick, but the umpire won't have a bar of it. But gee, that was desperate play by young Ben Hart. Started at North Adelaide. And Wren doesn't look too good from that camera shot. And the ball over the boundary line, and Adelaide quite content to see that point rush through.
The only thing wrong with Sean Wren, he'd have a sore fist from bashing the ball at the centre bounces, wouldn't he, Ross?
Just trying to get warm, I think.
Hey?
Big boy, Ben Hart. To the outer flank he goes. Free kick, no, I thought it might have been paid. To Maynard against Abbott, but Abbott in turn gets the ball, sends it back in the direction of Wielden. But you can again see the athleticism, the great leap that Hart does possess. He's not a big fellow. He should really be playing on half-back flank.
Boundary throw in the right forward pocket for Fitzroy. Jonathan Ross there doing the ruck work. The ball just finds its way out to Darren Wielden. He couldn't quite control the football. Osborne, one of his rare flashes of football skill. He's kicking towards full forward. Back there is Rouvray. Can't collect the footy. Yes, he can now. Gets the hand pass away. Pedestrian stuff again. How many times do you say it? McDermott to McGuinness, and away go the Crows. The ball gets back towards the centre wing area. Maynard. Blakey. Good tackle by Maynard. Blakey still got it. And umpire Russo calls for a bounce. Just seconds remaining in the match. And it'll be a good win for Adelaide on their home turf here at Football Park. It was only about a week ago 6 days to be exact, that they played very, very ordinary football against the Melbourne side and lost by a big margin. Umpire Russo bounces. O'Connell, McCormack. The football there, it's difficult to get out. Johnston, kick off the ground by Lee. Goes back near the centre. Osborne gathers it. The siren sounds. It's all over at Football Park in the inaugural Saturday night match here in Adelaide. And the Adelaide Crows register a comfortable victory. Adelaide 21-6, 132. Fitzroy 7-5, 47.
That brings to a close 7 Sports AFL coverage of round 19. In a few moments' time, the countdown to the games of the 25th Olympiad begins. We cross to Barcelona for a preview, relive some magic moments from Seoul in 1988. Then the opening ceremony gets underway at around 3 o'clock. It's going to be a long night, but enjoy your viewing here on 7. Good night.
Kicks well inside the attack. And got the what a mark! Hodges.
Yeah, that certainly was a great mark by Scott Hodges.
This has been another 7 Sport production, the network of the 1992 Barcelona Olympics.
Football 92, proudly brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors.